All right, guys, it's your girl Ade Sophie coming at you with tip 16. There's a time and place for everything. Learn some restraint. Tips from a Betty. All right, so as we know, there's a time and place for everything. But do we really understand what that means? When we say there's a time and place for everything, it truly means there's a time and place for everything. Even a time and place for being a baddie. For instance, I work in corporate America for the last 10 plus years, right? And I don't look like this at company functions. I don't dress like this, especially in the boardroom. I rarely wear red lipstick, if any makeup at all, because they're not paying me to look good. They're paying me to think good, right? Same thing when you're posed with a conflict. Why I say learn restraint is because let's say that someone comes to you and they disrespect you. You have to learn restraint. People think, I used to think, let me not say people think, I'm gonna start with myself. I think we've been around each other. It's tip 16. So if you stayed on this long or you just joining, I think you feel my energy. I have a strong personality with a hint of femininity that knows how to come out, right? I love my king. But I have a strong personality. I can come off as aggressive. I can do those things. I can battle with the best. I can roar with the lions and all that stuff. And so I used to think that that was the strongest person in the room. I used to think the one that could pop off, and I think a lot of us think that the one that can pop off, the one that can take it to the max, the one that can, stand up and battle every single time, and worst case get physical and all those things was the strongest person in the room. But I didn't realize that that was the weakest person in the room because that person is unable to show restraint. As you know, just think about a time when you was faced with a conflict and you had an option to blow up on that person because they were playing in your face, or you had the option to just let it go. What did you choose? If you chose blowing up on them, I bet you that was the initial reaction. It took no power to do that. But if you said, "Oh, I held back and I didn't say anything," I bet you that took all. People say, "Oh, it took all of me not to say something." Exactly. That is the biggest form of strength that one can show is restraint, discipline. You go out to the clubs or you don't. If you think that getting drunk and taking shots and all that good stuff every single time and going into a drunk stupor or whatever, that is that is what someone can look at as to be weak because there's no restraint, there's no discipline in that. We have to know what time, what season we are in and act accordingly. There is a time for celebrations, but does that mean to go and get drunk? There is a time to have some war. Even in the Bible, it says that. There's a time for war and there's a time for peace. Was that the right time? We have to use discernment, which is in the B.A.D.I.E acronym: be awakened, determined, discerning, intentional, every day. That's what B.A.D.I.E stands for in our realm. Discerning of the moment that you're in. And that takes discipline, that takes wisdom, and most of all, it takes strength. So you have to know what time you're in, what place you're in, what that calls for, because that could be your moment that excels you to the next level. So, with that being said, always understand that there's a time and a place. And just one last call out, ladies. This dress you see I have on, it no be for workplace. Hmm? You see? You don't need to show breast in the office. But on Friday night, Saturday night, let the girls out. There's a time and place, right? So with that being said, continue to polish your crowns. share how you show resilience, or maybe a situation that you had to show resilience and discipline. And let's continue to grow together. Until next time.